Alright troops, today we're going to do something a bit more sensible and paint up a new army. I'm going to do 800 points of Easterlings. First thing we need to do though is delve into the depths of the attic to try and find out where all my old stuff is to see what we have to work with. I know I've got one set of made to order, but I can't remember for the life of me what else I have. So let's go have a look. So I found a set of plastic Easterlings I must have got a couple of years ago. I do quite like this colour scheme, but they look too much like good guys for me with that vibrant green. Perhaps that's something I can think of doing in the future, a good Easterling army for the first age. Got my converted up Easterling war priest. The main part of this miniature is a spare Solidan I had lying around. I had to green stuff mould some legs for his horse though, as I couldn't find them anywhere. The weapon is made from the Harad standard from the Raider kit, but with the end chopped off and a phalagent mace attached instead. I believe the one on foot's left hand is also from the Empire Militia kit. Also replaced the top of his head with a couple of helmets that I had in my bits box. I really couldn't tell you where they come from, so I do apologise. Also found a metal Easterling cataphract, which I'll use as a captain. Also found 3 captains and 3 banners. I'm not sure why I have all these. Some of these are from when I first started the hobby, and as you can see, some of them are absolutely mince.
Oh, what the fuck is that? Look at the state of that. Hey, get fucked, will you? Come on, guys. Let's draw the line somewhere, shall we? Have a little bit more self-esteem.
So let's get these miniatures all fixed up. The first thing I want to do is to get rid of the old basing material, so I'm just going to soak them in soapy water for a while. Once they've had a good soak, just gently remove the basing material with your thumb. Just make sure you're being really gentle when you do this so you don't rip your waddles to bits. Also snapped a guy off his base and managed to get a pike lost down the sink.
Alright, just had a thought. Do I need to waste time drying these when I'm going to paint strip them anyway? Don't think so. Let's just chuck them in, shall we? Let's get it all in. Into the goo. See you later.
I'm using this BioStrip 20 stuff that I got on Amazon. Not sure what happened to BioStrip 1 to 19, but the 21 certainly does the trick. I'll put a link in the description. It is by far the best stuff I've ever used for paint stripping. It just melts the paint off plastic and metal. I haven't used it on fine cast yet, so I can't comment on that. It's actually supposed to be used for stripping paint off fences, so I'd make sure you definitely wear gloves, as this thing's probably all kinds of poisonous. They're all stripped. I'm just going to leave them to dry for a little while on a towel. Do be careful when you are paint stripping. I managed to break another metal halberd man, which is going to be an absolute nightmare to fix. I'm going to have to use a pin vise, I think. Now here's everything all paint stripped. I know there's a Candice chariot in the background, however I have decided to save that for an entirely separate video. So now to work on the captains. I have 3 of these captains with the exact same pose, so I want to give them a bit of variety. So the first guy I want to replace his two-handed axe with a different one, and change his pose a bit. Got a set of Norman infantry from Conquest Games that has two-handed axes on it. In this set you get 44 guys with different weapon options for 20 quid. Can only hope that one day Games Workshop lowers its prices to this level. The second captain I'm going to make into an archer. Rummaging through my sprues, I eventually settled on, surprise surprise, the Empire Militia set again. A gloved hand with a sword and a nice bow from it. I'm not sure I can have shields with the glaives, as it says I need to swap it. If anyone can let me know in the comments, that would be much appreciated. So this is where I got very nervous, as it involves completely chopping limbs off the models, which I'm not usually one to do. Remember, take it slow, as it's better to chop off too little than too much. I then filed down where the arms are going to connect. I glued the right arm onto the first captain before preparing the bow for the second one. This was then glued on with super glue along with his quiver. Then came the difficult task of attaching the left arm to the first captain. I managed to break his base in the process of doing this, which is a huge pain in the ass, so please be careful when doing conversions so you don't cause yourself more work. I did also give a shield to the captain that I wasn't changing. With that done, it's on to base coat in the miniatures. I'm going to go with Chaos Black, and luckily we have a nice lovely day today. Yeah, and don't rush and take your time, otherwise this might happen.
Oh, disaster. He fell off the spray stick. Oh, I'm so sad. Oh. I don't even know where his sword arm is.
So with everything base coated and ready to be painted, it's time to talk theme and colours. So with the troops I've got, my plan is to have a war priest and a bunch of captains leading some phalanxes of Easterlings. I'd like to take a moment to talk about how lucky we are looking at all these different and varied profiles that we have these days. I know it doesn't seem like much, but when you look at the old rulebook I had, there was only 2 Easterling profiles. One was a captain that had to take an elven blade and wear heavy armour, and Easterling warriors could only take spears and shields. There wasn't even a picture in the rulebook for them. It's also funny how your perceptions change over the years. I remember as a kid praying for Games Workshop to release plastic Easterling models. Now that we have all these varied and amazing plastic Easterling kits, I found myself at last month frothing at the mouth at the chance to get some of the old metal ones from the made to order. But let's move on to the colour scheme now. Kinda wanted to make them look a lot more evil than the green and silver colour scheme I had before. So since I have a habit of painting all my armies red, I really wanted to try something different this time. So you may be wondering, what amazingly different colour did I go for? Orange. So this is the colour scheme I ended up going for. I think we're on to a winner here, so I'm going to go with this. I did originally use purple for the gems, but I took my own advice and had a look at the colour wheel. As we can see, the complementary colours are showing orange and blue. So I switched it up and used the blue instead of the purple, and I think it works so much better. First thing we need to do, check with the master to see if he likes the colour scheme. What do you think, mate? You've shat on the floor, why have you done that? Huh? What do you think? You just want the head scratches, don't you? You don't care about Lord of the Rings. What an easy life you have. You should be pulling Radagast's sleigh. So with Bucky happy with the colour scheme, I have gone ahead and dry brushed the whole army with Stormvermin fur. It's then time to give all the black areas a Nuln oil wash.
Jason, are you seeing this? We got flow out here. Hey, Jason, are you seeing this?
I'm gonna go full Alex Jones in a minute. I always try and keep a pipette handy in case this happens. Hopefully we can salvage as much of this oil as we can. I'm now dry brushing the whole miniature with a mix of Stormvermin fur and white. I would much rather use a lighter grey straight from the pot, but I have no idea what I've done with it. Light grey done. The hard thing about doing black is making sure that stuff looks black. Hopefully when I've got all the other colours on, like black. That's what I'm hoping anyway. Otherwise I'll just tell people they're supposed to be light grey, you know, we'll just keep that between us, eh? So next up is the gold. I am not excited to do that. I think I'll need to do it in a couple of batches because otherwise I'll go mental having to do this amount of gold. I hate metallics, they absolutely drive me insane. So I'm about halfway through the gold and it's brutal, man. I'm already at almost an hour. It's actually the worst because you need to make sure that because you've done the black, you don't want to go over the black. So you have to be really careful, so it takes forever. Although the silver lining is,
if you'll pardon the pun,
it's only plastics left, and I've done a plastic one and they seem a lot easier because the detail isn't like sharp. Like you really need to shove your paintbrush into these metal lines to get the gold in, which takes extra time. Whereas the plastic, you don't need to do that, it just goes in. So I'm hoping it won't take as long to do all these. So that is the base coat of Retributor armour all done now. I decided to have a play with some metallic colours and washes on some old Empire shields. I think the purple was my favourite, but a close second would be the orange. However, as we're already doing orange clothing, I don't want to saturate the miniature with orange. There are some other interesting results here which I might use in future videos. So I'm just quickly washing all the gold parts of the miniature with a Druci violet. I think this purple gives a real darkness to the gold, which I really like. That's us at 1 hour and 45 minutes. You can see the Druci Violet has really toned down the Easterlings' armour. All we need to do now to get it up to this stage is give it a dry brush of Liberator Gold. I honestly don't know what's happening in this project, man. I've got a paintbrush in my mouth. What is this project? Everything that could go wrong is going wrong. Like, why? Oh, the gold finally done. Just tinted up a little bit with a wee highlight from the Liberator Gold. I'm just going to quickly do all the swords with this and then Nuln oil them. Again, I should have done that at the very start before I did the first Nuln oil wash, but I forgot, so we're now duplicating work, which is going to cost us more time, sadly. Let's go! Right guys, that's all the gold and silver done. That's the black, the metallics, and I just dropped them. Thankfully didn't break. That's all I would need. I just realised doing the sword guy, I never considered what I wanted to do the wood on the spears. I think I'm just going to go for Moornfang because I'm going to do the bases of that anyway. 2 birds with 1 stone and all that. So that's what I'm going to go for. I think I'll do that before I do the orange, and I'll do the orange as the last bit. Yeah, let's go. Brown done. I might give it a quick wash of Agrax Earthshade. Not 100% sure yet, still thinking about it. Sorry for all this glare, this camera's rubbish. Right, so almost at the 3 hour mark, sadly. So I think this might actually take longer than the 120 goblins, which is saying something. I've just got the oranges to do, so I'll quickly, hopefully quickly do that because let me just flip the camera here. How do I do that? How do I flip the camera? Because the orange doesn't take up much of the miniature. But in true Games Workshop fashion, I've just noticed the plastic ones are different on the back to the metal ones. So the plastic ones have this extra kind of bit coming down. Don't know why. A wee extra little thing. Whereas that's the hood stops and then there's straps. Whereas you can hardly see the straps in this one because it's covered up by an extra cloth. So I'm going to leave that black and just try and copy this as best as I can. Okay, let's go. Right, so I've done all the metal ones and I'm onto the plastics. There's not as much orange on the plastic ones, so I'm not sure whether to do this a little bit above orange as well. I'm also going to have to switch to a much thinner brush. They seem a lot smaller than their metal equivalents, scale wise, which is a bit strange, but yeah, we'll have to switch to a smaller brush to do the orange for the rest of these. So all I did was start with a base coat of Wild Rider Red, followed by a wash of Fuegan Orange. I then proceeded to edge highlight with Troll Slayer Orange. I then added a dot of Stormhost Silver before applying the technical paint Soulstone Blue, before finally adding Geek Gaming Base Ready to the base. 4.5 hours, and I've got my War Priest to go. I forgot about that. That's another wee present for old John to do. But I've got everything up to the stage where it just needed tufted. Apart from this guy, obviously. So I'm just randomly applying tufts to the bases of all the miniatures. I had to do a mix of colours and textures, so I'll have some shrubs and some grasses, and I'll throw in the occasional flower now and again to give some colour to the bases. I know I shouldn't paint when I'm really not feeling it, but I really want to finish this project. So I'm going to go and have like an hour break, maybe hour and a half, 2 hours, 4 hours, 5 hours, 6 hours, and then I'll come back and I'll paint this guy. Alright guys, that is the army done. Thank God for that. It took way longer than the goblins. I will, quick wee thing, I really don't like embossed banners because I prefer blank canvases that I can never paint them nice. I don't know, I just don't like them. I get bored painting them the same design over and over again. I'd rather have canvases and I can paint the different squads with different banners. The other thing is, as much as I hate to say it, although I think the army is done and table ready, I think there's something a little bit missing, and I think I know what it is. So, if we play spot the difference with these two, which one do you prefer? I know which one I prefer.
Hang up. Corporate needs you to find the differences between this picture and this picture. Intel has told us there are at least 7.
Okay, I already see one, give me. Okay.
The one on the left, where I've painted his kind of neck thing orange as well. I just think it adds a lot more to the miniature. It gives your eye something a bit, catches your eye a bit more. Because if you look down on this army, you can't really see the orange. They just look gold and black. Whereas if you have the top part, a bit of orange in the top part, it just catches the eye a bit more. So does that mean I need to go back and paint all of these Easterlings with the orange? I think I'm going to have to, because I am not going to be happy until I do it. So, more time, let's go. Give them a quick coat of Storm Shield, because these Easterlings seem to chip at the slightest touch. The paint comes off them. Also, for some reason, another shiny wash. Games Workshop keeps sending me glossy washes, even though they're not supposed to be gloss. So, you know, need to do a wee Storm Shield. Right, let's get this done fast as possible. We are done, we're fucking done. Look at that, all done. Oh yes. Oh my god, that is a lot of time that this has taken. I want to say almost double, got like 120 goblins, but I don't actually remember how many times this has ticked over, so I'm going to have to check when I'm editing it. Have a look at some still shots. Thanks for watching everyone. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and remember to give my bell a good old ring.
Wow. Whoa, shit. I can't breathe, you've got your leg on my throat. Oh, goodles. You're choking me, Bucky. You're choking me.
Oh!